Who knows best? What is best for you? You or the government? Senator Lindsey Graham joins us.
Apparently not the government. All I can say is that if this doesn't turn around pretty quickly, President Obama is going to lose his second term. Democrats are going to bail out in droves before next election, and his signature issue is going up in flames if he doesn't fix this.
Well, they had some sort of a secret meeting today at the White House.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the schedule with a bunch of Democrats, Democratic senators.
Right.
So that actually looks sort of like in free fall, that they are freaked and.
Yeah, if you're a Democrat and you voted for this, you're really going to have a hard time explaining to your constituents in November 2014, particularly if you're in a red state, why this was a good idea. But this is one thing people are not covering enough. The policy people told the political people in the White House months ago, maybe over a year ago, what the president's saying about if you like your coverage, you can keep it, is not accurate. And the political people supposedly told the policy people, this is the best way to sell this idea. We're going to keep selling it. That, to me, is disturbing. And people
why? I mean, is that? I mean, I know it's disturbing. Is it because it's deceitful?
I think they want to win at all cost. It's about winning whatever the issue is. It's about winning at all cost, and they don't think beyond just what's in front of them. But here's where the president comes into play. Is he this detached from how his law works? Did he really not know better? Let's assume for a moment that he didn't know better.
Which isn't a good sign. I mean, well, whether it's deceitful or he didn't know, neither one. Do you want an uninformed president or a deceitful
here, and we're
one?
talking to a jury. Okay, so there's two ways you can look at this. The President of the United States, for months, if not years, made a claim that's patently untrue. So either he didn't know about his own law bearing his name, called Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, or he was in on it. And at the end of the day, there is no good answer.
But I tell you, here's the thing: is that even if, I mean, there is actually no mystery to that, because as recently as November 4th, 2 days ago, he suddenly says, what we said was you could keep it if it hasn't changed since the law was passed. So we wrote into the Affordable Care Act, your grandfathered in on the plan. That if was never there until November 4th. So it's not like he can say, I just didn't. He got caught.
So here's the point. How could he, for a couple of years, boldly say, if you like your plan, you can keep it, period? Now, when an American politician closes the sentence with period, that means in their mind there's no doubt about the statement they just made. So the president is either the most uninformed person in America about his own law, or he was trying to sell an aspect of it that just wasn't true.
But he could do so safely, because if you look at the editorial board of the New York Times on Sunday, and I've been going back and forth a little bit with them on Greta Wire, is they say the president misspoke when he said that.
No, he didn't.
If you've got the newspaper that is a very prominent newspaper in the country giving you that kind of cover, because we counted up 26, 30 times that he said it. Why is the New York Times? I mean, you know, they should be. I mean, they should be protecting the American people and challenging the president.
Well, how long does it take to understand the New York Times editorial view? They're the most liberal paper in the country.
But you can be liberal and have a different ideology. There's between liberal and they're sort of trying to cover for someone. There's a little difference.
Why don't you call them onto your show and let them explain to you why they thought this was him misspeaking? But here's what he was trying to do. I'm a political person, all of us in politics. He was trying to reassure the American people of something very fundamental. If you like your policy, nothing in the law I just passed is going to require you to drop it. You can keep your doctor and you can keep your policy. And from a consumer's point of view, from an American citizen's point of view, that had to be reassuring to hear your president over and over again tell you, now there's change is coming, but here's the one thing I promise. If you like what you got and you like your doctor, you're not going to be affected by this change. And he said it over and over again, and people want to believe their president. So if he doesn't fix this, his second term is quite frankly lost because of his overselling, either through deception or misinformation.
But it goes even deeper than that. Every single person, you can go back and you can pull the videotapes, I was always appalled that no one bothered to read the bill or understand it, whether it was a good bill or a bad bill. And suddenly you've got a bunch of Democrats are suddenly appalled like they didn't have any clue. Well, you know, they might have had a clue.
Senator Lindsey had an amendment to address this very situation. Go get the tape in 2010 where Senator Lindsey is talking about the regulation that was passed that would lead to exactly what we're talking about. Millions of people not being grandfathered but losing their policy. We actually had a vote on this, and he laid out, he foretold what was to come, that people would lose their coverage and that you couldn't keep what you had. He said when they tell you can keep your policy if you like it, they're not being honest with you. This was in 2010. We had a vote on it. The people are now claiming they didn't know. I just don't believe that.
Well, it's sort of hard not to. All right, so what should would it help if the president speaks to the American people on this?
Yeah,
this is not just a regular bill. This has transformed medical care as we know it. Should he do it from the Oval Office? I mean, what should he do?
He can't ride this out. He fundamentally misled the American people about something that was reassuring to hear. If you like your policy and you like your doctor, you can keep it. That is now just going up in flames. Millions of people are losing their coverage. He's got a revolt in his own party. If I were the president's advisor, I would say, Mr. President, like Ronald Reagan, like presidents in the past, when you have a crisis of confidence and trust, you need to try to reestablish confidence and trust in you as a person. When a politician tells you that you can get more and pay less, that more people will be covered with a subsidy but it won't bother you, that when the business you work for will have increased costs because of more mandates and it won't affect your job or the economy in general, you should be suspicious. But if the president doesn't reestablish some confidence by addressing the American people and being honest with them about what's going on here, I think he's going to have a rebellion in the ranks.
I would actually refine a little bit more. I'm going to take the last word. Is that I want to know why even 2 days ago, which is well after 4.5 weeks that this was launched and everything, that he's now coming up with a new version like that. Why
he got caught.
Because Senator, nice to see you, sir. Always nice to see you.